Every night, you climb into bed, close your eyes, and try to sleep for 8 straight hours. And if you wake up at 3 a.m., you lie there staring at the ceiling, convinced something is wrong with you. But here's the thing. For thousands of years, nobody slept like that. Not your great-grandparents. Not theirs. In fact, before 1920, people had a completely different word for what happened after midnight. A word that has been erased from our vocabulary. And a scientist in 1992 proved that your body still remembers it. The word was first sleep. 2 words that were, for most of human history, as ordinary as breakfast. In the 1700s, every person in Europe knew exactly what it meant. It showed up in diaries, in medical texts, in court records. A historian named Roger Kirch spent 16 years cataloging over 500 references to it. Homer used it in the Odyssey, Chaucer used it, Dickens used it, and none of them ever explained what it meant, because they assumed everyone already knew. Here is what they knew. People went to bed when it got dark, slept for roughly 4 hours, and then woke up. Not because something was wrong. That was the first sleep. Then they stayed awake for about an hour. Then they went back to sleep, the second sleep. This was not some quirk of the poor, or the sick, or the unusual. This was every night. For every human being, on every continent, across thousands of years of recorded history. And then, by 1920, the phrase first sleep had completely vanished from the English language. Not faded. Vanished. A sleep pattern practiced by every human being who had ever lived before the modern era, gone in less than 200 years. Something killed it. And before we get to that, there is one more thing about that hour in the middle of the night you need to know. They called that hour the watch, and it was nothing like what you do at 3 in the morning. People did not lie in bed with their eyes wide open dreading the alarm. They got up, they prayed, they talked quietly with their spouses, they checked on their animals, tended to the fire, or visited a neighbor down the road. Doctors in the 1500s actually recommended the watch as the best time for couples to conceive children, because the body, having already completed its first round of deep sleep, was rested but not yet fully alert, apparently ideal. This was not tossing and turning. The watch was calm, quiet, and expected. It shifted with the seasons, longer in winter when the nights stretched on, shorter in summer when darkness barely lasted. Your body adjusted automatically, reading the darkness like a clock. Nobody set an alarm to start it. Nobody needed to. The watch was, by historical accounts, the only hour of the entire day that belonged purely to you. No work, no obligations, no sunlight demanding you be useful. Just an hour carved out of the dark, every single night, that the world had agreed was yours. So if this was so natural, so universal, so built into the human body, what happened to it? Something specific ended it, and it did not happen slowly. The answer begins in 1760. The Industrial Revolution did not just change where people worked. It changed when people were allowed to sleep. Factories needed workers on fixed schedules. A shift started at a specific hour and ended at a specific hour, regardless of what the sun was doing. And then came the gas lamp. For the first time in human history, the night was lit. City streets that had been black after sunset now glowed. People stayed up later. The gap between first and second sleep started to compress. The watch shrank. And then electric light arrived, and the night effectively ceased to exist as a biological signal. But there is something even more specific that finished the job. You have heard of the 8-hour workday. The labor movement in the 1800s had a slogan: 8 hours of work, 8 hours of rest, 8 hours of recreation. Clean, simple, politically powerful. But it had nothing to do with biology. The 8-hour sleep block was an arithmetic solution to an industrial scheduling problem. 24 hours in a day, divided into 3 equal shifts. Sleep got 8. The way you sleep tonight was designed by factory owners and union organizers in the 1800s. It was not designed by your body. But here is the question. If your body was built for something different, Shouldn't there be proof? In 1992, a scientist found it. His name was Thomas Ware, and he was a psychiatrist at the National Institutes of Health. In 1992, he ran an experiment that most people have never heard of. He took a group of volunteers and removed artificial light from their lives entirely. 14 hours of darkness every night. No phones, no lamps, no screens. 4 weeks. At first, the subjects slept in long, erratic blocks, their bodies catching up on years and years of accumulated sleep debt. Ware waited. And then, once the debt was paid, something shifted. Every single subject, independently, with no prompting, settled into the same pattern. 4 hours of sleep, 1 hour of quiet wakefulness, 4 more hours of sleep. They had no idea that segmented sleep had ever existed. Nobody told them about Roger Eckertch's research. Nobody mentioned the phrase first sleep. Their bodies just remembered. Ware's study proved that biphasic sleep is not a cultural habit from a pre-industrial world. It is a biological default, hardwired into the human body. Your body is built to sleep this way. It has been fighting a schedule imposed on it for less than 200 years, and it has been losing. There is a clinical name for waking up at 2 or 3 in the morning and not being able to fall back asleep. Doctors call it middle-of-the-night insomnia. They write prescriptions for it. But after everything we have just covered, think about what that actually means. Millions of people are lying awake in the middle of the night, convinced something is wrong with them. They are downloading sleep tracking apps, taking melatonin, buying blackout curtains and weighted blankets and reading 16 articles about sleep hygiene. The global sleep industry is worth over $430 billion. And the entire thing is built on a single assumption, that unbroken 8-hour sleep is the normal baseline, and anything else is a disorder to be corrected. But Roger Eckertch's 500 historical documents say otherwise. Thomas Ware's lab results say otherwise. Thousands of years of human behavior on every continent, in every culture, across all of recorded history, say otherwise. The problem is not that you cannot sleep through the night. The problem is that someone told you that you should. When you wake up at 3 in the morning, your body is not malfunctioning. It is running the oldest program in human history. It is trying to give you back the watch. You are not sleeping wrong. You have just been told the wrong definition of right.